Alright, so today we're going to replace the MAF sensor on 1997 Altima because we kept getting a live data lane situation. The fuel trims are showing lane randomly. It doesn't always do it, it's just sometimes it messes up. Like there's some sort of wiring problem or a sensor problem. Well, we're going to try replacing the MAF sensor. So I got a brand new one on eBay. Well, brand new rebuilt. It's rebuilt. And so the MAF sensor, as you can see, this is the original, is attached to the airbox. We have to remove it. It looks like there's four 10mm bolts that mount into a plate. So let's see if I can get this to come off easy. On there pretty snug. It's not long enough. I need an extension. Can you pause that?
Done.
Alright, so I got a longer extension now. This ought to do better. Oh yeah. Careful, so I remember how this goes back. I've never replaced one of these before, so I don't know if I'm supposed to use the MAF cleanser, MAF cleaning spray on these or not when you install a new one, so I'm not going to. Let's see what happens.
I mean, it doesn't hurt anything to do it. Why not?
I don't know if it does. It might not be a good idea. Alright, so here's the new one that's in a wrapper. That doesn't want to come out of its wrapper. And let's just make sure they're the same. It looks like that might have been sandblasted when they did it. Looks the same to me. So I think it went like this. All right. Does this have a seal? Yeah, it has a. That has a seal. Does this one have a seal? No, it doesn't. Well, that's a problem. Take the seal off this one, even though it looks like it's pretty used up.
Wonder why they check the box to make sure they didn't give you one.
Yeah. There's nothing else in there.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Oh, it broke. Great. The seal is rotten. Great. Well, that might be a problem.
Can we try without the seal?
Guess I don't have any choice at this point. That one's gone. Disintegrated. That should have came with one though. I don't have any O-rings that big. I wonder if that's something I can get at AutoZone. Alright, pause the video. I'm going to get online and see. Alright, so don't have the seal. We're just going to put it together as is. Now I got to remember how I had it. Was it like this? It wasn't like that. Alright, so it's going to go like this. And I will order the seal and install it later, but we're kind of in a pinch now. But the old one obviously was used up. It might have been leaking anyway. I wonder if this originally came with a seal, but it was lost. All right, got it snug down. Let's see if this makes a difference. You got the car key?
Yep.
All right. There you go. So, stay over by the engine.
Okay.
Feel the engine. Sounds like it's running okay, right? But I think it ran okay before. Oh. Go for a little ride and see how it does.
You want me to kill it?
No, keep it running. Go for a ride. All right.
You're gonna have to adjust the chair.
Yeah. All right, let's see how it does. Turn that off. I may have to cut that music out of the video. Okay. Shh. Damn it. That person better live on this alley, or that will chat me. Yeah, they do live here. Okay. I don't know. It seems like it's running different. What do you think?
Well, I mean, if there is indeed no seal in there, that would cause lack of power. But at least it runs.
No, I mean, even without, this doesn't have the seal, and it seems like it's running better.
Oh, really? Another person?
Yeah, everyone's coming home from work, I guess. All right. Just drive through the neighborhood a little bit, and then we'll head home. See if it's going to mess up. I've got a good feeling about this. I mean, even without that seal, but I'm going to replace that.
Well, it doesn't seem to be a big deal. It seems to be working fine.
So the problem is, I don't know if it's heat related or vibration or what, but out of the blue, sometimes it happens when we first start the car, but it's always really hot this time of year, so we don't know if it's temperature. But sometimes it will just not want to run. It'll idle horribly, just terribly, and then it will clear up. So usually after we rev the engine a few times, it seems to help it. And a lot of work was done on this before we knew about the problem. Spark plugs, ignition wires, rotor, distributor cap, that sort of thing. All those things were done because I didn't know how old they were when I bought the car, and just replaced them. Didn't replace the ignition coil though, so that's still on the table. That could be a possibility. But it's just weird. We have our phone, we have the scan tool, and the fuel rails, both the short-term and the long-term fuel trims, go to negative 25. I guess that's the maximum value they can go. They go to the maximum negative 25%. And while it's there, the symptoms that we have are happening. Now, at higher RPMs, it doesn't seem to be a problem. The engine doesn't have a problem. But the rails are, or the fuel trims are still at negative 25%. So this is just our next guess in this. After this, if this doesn't fix it, then we have a spare computer that we might swap in there and see if that does something. But we're running out of ideas. Oxygen sensor is another possibility. I just don't think it's that, because I think oxygen sensors tend to make the fuel rich. In other words, positive fuel trim values instead of negative. We have a lean condition. Oxygen sensors make it rich, I think. Might be wrong. Maybe it can go both ways. But vacuum leaks can do it, and we don't have a vacuum leak as far as I can tell. We had the one and it was repaired. But right now the car's running great, but it does that, doesn't it, Thomas? It will run good, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's just out of the blue, not want to run right. Still drivable. It won't die as long as you're giving it gas. But if we were having the problem right now and I came to a stop, it could potentially die, or just run like crap, just run really bad. So far so good, no problems. And this little short test won't prove anything, except if the problem occurs, then it would prove we didn't fix it. But the fact that we don't have a problem in this short little drive doesn't mean much. It just means we probably didn't drive it enough. But at least it keeps hope alive. Hopefully we've got it this time. I'm going to crowd it here in a second and see how it does. See if the MAF sensor has made any difference on that. This is our favorite intersection here because we can't see anything. All right. Yeah, seems fine. Seems like no change. Still has lots of power. Well, for a 2.4 liter. I don't know. I think it's doing better. Of course, I say that every time I do something. I've cleaned it and it seemed like it did better, at least for a while. The MAF sensor, that is. Changed the air filter. Oh, that seemed to make a difference. Alright, let's take it home and park it and let it idle for a moment or two and then see if it messes up. The problem's more pronounced when it's idling. So far, it feels like it might be fixed, though. is idling now. Looks like the temperature of engine coolant is up to operating temperature now. If that's a factor, not even sure. I don't know. Seems like it's idling differently.
That's probably the lack of the O-ring.
Well, I'm gonna get one. I'll replace that. But
You think it's idling stronger or weaker?
well, now it's doing something. Is that because
That's because the engine fan just turned on.
was that the engine fan?
Yeah, I heard it.
Interesting that energy load can make a difference like that. Still running pretty good though. So the fan just turned up. Well, okay, I know that the air conditioner has a kick up. So when you turn the air conditioner on and the compressor's running, it kicks the throttle up a little bit so that the engine runs a little bit stronger. And then when it shuts off the compressor, then it kicks it back down. So that's probably what we saw there. But we're not seeing where it's, you know, lopping between like 1200 RPM and 400 RPM and then dying.
Right.
We're not seeing that. And that's the problem that we were having. All right, I think that's it for this video. I will get an O-ring and we'll keep everyone posted.